This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Tunnell and Raysor.
Well, if you're anything like me when it comes to bad weather preparation, at times it can be easier said than done. In the winter with snow, ice freezing, rain, and winds, the last thing you want to do is be stuck outside having to deal with the crud all those things bring with them.
Yeah. So with the guidance of Angie Hicks from Angie's List, we want to help you make a get ready for winter checklist, and it only has 5 must-do items. And they are: find your water shutoff valve. Pipes that might freeze may also burst. Examine or have your roof examined. Long icicles look great, but they can also be damaging. Check your sump pump. If water gets into your basement, you want to make certain it has a place to drain. Arrange for snow removal. Contact a contractor ahead of a big snowfall. And last but not least, prep your ride with the essentials like blankets, jumper cables, ice scrapers, and a flashlight. Angie also advises you to keep your vehicle covered if you can.
In the winter, it's best to keep your car in the garage to prevent doors becoming frozen. But if you can't do that, the next best bet would be to consider putting petroleum jelly on the hinges and the door latches, or even just shutting a garbage bag in the door will keep it from freezing. But it's really important that you don't use hot water to unfreeze a frozen door, because it's just going to refreeze.
Now, if the garage isn't your issue, but rather you get stranded, here are some things to remember. Run the motor for about 10 minutes every hour. Crack your window to let some fresh air in. Make sure that snow's not blocking your exhaust pipe to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Tie something bright to the antenna so that rescuers can spot you.
All good advice. Another thing you have to remember to prepare for is being involved in an accident.
Delmarva Life's Sean Stryker has some do's and don'ts when it comes to that. Sean?
Well, Jimmy and Lisa, I don't know how many times I've heard this. People just don't know how to drive in bad weather. Whether it's rain, snow, wind, or fog, the main principles for staying safe behind the wheel stay the same. Now, it's easy to remember if you just think of the 3 S's. Stay alert, slow down, and stay in control. But of course, a lot of times that's much easier said than done. And if you happen to be in one of the more than 1 million weather-related car crashes each year, you need to know what to do. So we talked to Kelly Geloff, managing partner of Tunnell and Raysor Law Firm in Sussex County. We gave Kelly a few scenarios. First, you're driving along, headed to your destination, doing the speed limit, and suddenly you're in an accident. You were doing the speed limit, so you're in the clear, right?
When people are driving in the winter, you have to be very cautious, because if you end up causing an accident, even though you're going the speed limit, but the road conditions are not that great, you can get cited for causing that accident. Your defense may be, but I was going the speed limit. Well, that's not necessarily the case if you should have known better because the road conditions were not so great. So you have to be careful about that. To the same token, if you were the person who was hit by someone who was going the speed limit and they were very apologetic, but they thought it was just an accident, and you were pretty badly injured, that's when you might want to seek an attorney and say, this is what happened. I think I deserve some compensation. It wasn't my fault. I think it was their fault, but they were going the speed limit is what they said. What do you think? It really comes down to what happened in that particular situation.
Scenario number 2, a multi-vehicle accident.
In the winter, you oftentimes hear about those bumper-to-bumper or 5-car pile-ups. Well, when you aren't sure of who caused the accident because you're in the middle of that pile-up, sometimes you need to find an attorney to help go through all of that and talk with the insurance companies, adjusters, and attorneys, if that's the case, for all of those vehicles to find out who, if it was one person or if it was more than one person that caused that accident.
Scenario number 3. It was only a fender bender, so we don't really need to call the police.
It is very important for you to go ahead and do that exchange of information, call the police, even when the other person is saying, please don't, I will tell you, I did it, I caused it, whatever it may be. It's not enough. You need to call the police because you need to have it documented. You don't know what your injuries are at that time. You can't tell what the extent of the damages are to your vehicle. There's a variety of things that you just don't know at that time. Call the police, get them involved, wait the few extra minutes so that they come and you have a police report.
Scenario number 4. You were injured, so your medical insurance pays, right?
If someone is in an accident and it clearly was not their fault and they were hit, say, from the rear, then what I would do is have them give me all the information that they received. I would immediately contact the insurance companies for them and make sure that they have the proper information of my client and that I have the proper information from the person that caused the accident, and make sure that their medical bills are taken care of properly through PIP, which is through their own vehicle insurance, and then make sure if they are having lost wages, help them get all the proper documentation so that they can get their lost wages paid sooner rather than later, because there are many hoops that you need to jump through that most people do not understand, but we take care of that for you. That's the no fault part. So no matter whose fault it was, we help you through that, and we don't ask for any compensation for that piece.
By the way, in Delaware, the minimum PIP insurance is $15,000 per person. In Maryland, it's $2,500. Scenario number 5, the accident is your fault. You can just take care of it.
If you are the person that causes the accident and you know it, the first thing for you to do would be to call your own insurance company. After, of course, if you've already talked to a police officer. Call your insurance company so that they can get involved from the beginning. Many people don't realize that that's what you're supposed to do so that they can step in, and if there's monetary damages or if there's compensation that's going to be awarded to the other side, they're the ones that's going to pay it, not you individually.
And lastly, why do you need a lawyer?
What I find is when people have been trying to just handle it on their own because they don't want to sue anybody, if you will. That's oftentimes what happens. But after their first month or two of the stress of dealing with all the insurance companies and the bills that are coming in and not sure what's what and why things aren't getting taken care of and not getting a lot of answers, that creates so much stress for the people that I see that once they come to me, they are so much more at ease knowing that I'm going to take care of all that they can then focus on just getting better.
So Jimmy and Lisa, just remember, take it slow no matter what the weather is. Back to you guys.
Good stuff. Now, for more information on what Kelly had to say or about the law firm of Tunnell and Raysor, visit our website, WBOC.com, and click on our picture at the top of the page.
When the weather does turn wintry, one thing many kids look forward to: a snow day. But they may soon be a thing of the past on Delmarva. Find out what's making it a real possibility.
And driving a Zamboni turned into reality for our Sean Stryker. He spends a day in the life of a Zamboni driver. But first, we've teamed up with Sussex County Federal Credit Union to help you make better sense of your money. Here's Cherie with this week's tip.
On behalf of Sussex County Federal Credit Union, I'm Cherie Coleman with this week's Dollars and Cents tip. We've all been there, looking under sofa cushions or digging through pockets for some change. Instead of looking for cash in all the wrong places, find cold hard cash in just a couple easy steps. To begin, finance an auto or personal loan at Sussex County Federal Credit Union and receive 1% cash back. That's right, receive 1% cash back of the total amount you finance. For example, financing $30,000 would provide you with $300 cash back. And who couldn't use a little extra money after the holidays? If you're not looking to buy right now, then simply refinance an existing auto or personal loan for a lower rate and a lower monthly payment. So put that sofa cushion down and start looking for cash in all the right places. Together, we can achieve more.